The alarm blared at 5:30 a.m., and Amina jolted awake, her small hands fumbling to silence it. The dim light barely reached the corner of her room, but she was already halfway through reciting the human anatomy notes she had been studying for hours the night before. Her eyes were tired, her back sore, but she couldn't stop. Not now. Not ever. Outside, the neighborhood was waking up, children laughing, dogs barking, vendors calling out their wares. But inside, the quiet determination of one girl was louder than all of it. "Am I just dreaming?" she whispered to herself, voice trembling. "Maybe I'm not cut out for this." Her father, Samuel, knocked gently on the door. "Amina, you awake?" "Yes, Papa," she said, trying to sound confident, but her voice cracked. He stepped in, wiping his hands on his worn apron, and crouched beside her bed. "You're up early again," he said, smiling faintly. "I see you've been at it since yesterday." I have to study, Papa. I need to get this right." She clutched her notebook tightly. "I want to be a doctor, and I can't fail." He put a hand on her shoulder. "You won't fail. I believe in you. Even if nobody else does, I do." She looked down, biting her lip. "But Papa, everyone says it's impossible, that I should focus on something practical. They laugh at me, even my teachers." Samuel shook his head. "People will always doubt you when they can't see your vision. It's not their dream, they can't understand it. But I see it. I see the fire inside you." She wanted to believe him. She wanted to believe in herself. But the weight of everyone else's expectations pressed on her, and sometimes it was unbearable. At school that morning, she walked into the classroom carrying her worn backpack, filled with textbooks she had borrowed and some she had saved for months to buy. A group of classmates snickered as she walked in. "Look who thinks she's going to be a doctor," one whispered, loud enough for her to hear. "With those grades? Dream on." Amina's stomach twisted. She clenched her fists, resisting the urge to reply. Her teacher, Mr. Okoro, tried to reassure her later. "Maybe you should consider something more realistic," he said gently. "Science is tough, and resources are limited." Her heart sank. Every word felt like another brick added to the wall between her and her dream. She thought about giving up, about settling for something easier, something everyone else approved of. That evening, at home, she dropped her books on the floor and buried her face in her hands. "Papa, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm just fooling myself." Samuel knelt in front of her, his eyes filled with a mixture of concern and unwavering faith. "Amina, do you want me to tell you a secret?" She peeked through her fingers. "What?" "I've never been the smartest man in the world, never had much money, never went far in school. But I've seen people succeed because someone believed in them before the world did. And I see that same spark in you. I see it." Tears pricked her eyes. "But it's so hard, Papa. I don't know if I can do this alone." "You're not alone. I'm with you. Every step, every struggle, every night you think you can't go on, I'll be there. And one day, when the world finally sees what I see, you'll look back and know that this was worth it." The next weeks were grueling. Amina woke before sunrise, studied late into the night, and fought exhaustion like a battle she couldn't afford to lose. Every day, people around her doubted her. Her friends whispered, "Why do you waste your time? You'll never make it." Her teachers, too busy to mentor her, offered only faint encouragements. And yet, Samuel was always there. He would sit with her at the table, quizzing her, explaining concepts he barely remembered from his own school days. Sometimes he would leave notes on her desk. "I believe in you. Your dream matters. One day you will save lives." One day, after failing an important practice exam, she collapsed on the floor of their tiny kitchen, sobbing. "I can't do this, Papa. I'm failing. I'm not good enough." Samuel knelt beside her, hands on her shoulders, holding her gaze. "Amina, listen to me. Failing is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every great doctor, every great person you admire, they failed. They fell. They doubted themselves. But they didn't give up. And neither will you." "But I feel so small," so incapable. You are neither small nor incapable, he said firmly. You are powerful because you have a dream that matters. And dreams this big, they aren't easy. If they were, everyone would have them. But you have what it takes. I know it. Even if the world doesn't, I do. Amina clutched his hands, drawing strength from his words. She dried her tears and nodded. Something in her shifted that night. It wasn't just determination, it was a fire. She would prove them wrong. Not for them, but for herself and for the one person who never stopped believing in her. The months turned into years. Each obstacle became a challenge she refused to surrender to. Exams, rejections, financial struggles. She faced them all. Every time she wanted to quit, she remembered Samuel's unwavering faith. And every time she remembered, she found the strength to continue. Years passed, and Amina's journey became harder than she had imagined. The tuition fees, the long nights of studying, the endless exams. It all piled up like a mountain she had to climb every single day. One afternoon, she received a rejection letter from the university she had dreamed of attending since she first opened a textbook on human anatomy. Her hands shook as she read it. Her heart sank. I can't do this, Papa. Maybe I'm just not meant to be a doctor, she whispered, voice breaking. Samuel held the letter in his hands, reading it carefully. He didn't speak immediately. Then he gently tore it into pieces. Listen to me, Amina. One letter does not define your life. One rejection is not the end. The world doesn't get to decide your worth. You do. But what if I fail again? You won't, he said, voice steady. Because this time you have me, and I will remind you every day that you are capable, that you are enough. I believe in you even if the whole world doesn't. Amina looked at him, tears streaming down her face, and felt a warmth she had almost forgotten. She nodded slowly, her jaw set with renewed determination. That night, she opened her books again, making notes, solving problems, and staying up long past midnight. Samuel brought her a small cup of tea, setting it beside her. Fuel for the future doctor, he said with a smile, and she laughed through her tears. The years were relentless, but so was her determination. She worked multiple part-time jobs to pay for tuition and books. She studied while commuting on crowded buses. She missed parties, celebrations, even birthdays, but she never gave up. And every night, Samuel was there, reminding her why she started. Writing little notes she would tuck into her notebooks. I believe in you. Never give up. Your dream is bigger than anyone else's doubts. One night, exhausted and overwhelmed, Amina sat on the floor of their tiny apartment, surrounded by stacks of books and papers. Her shoulders shook with silent sobs. I don't know if I can do this anymore. It's too much. Samuel knelt beside her and held her close. Do you hear me? You can do this. I have seen your fire, Amina. I've seen your courage. I've seen your heart. And I promise you, you will rise. Not because it's easy, but because you are stronger than you know. She pressed her forehead to his chest, drawing strength from his unwavering belief. That night, she made a decision. She would try again. She would fight for her dream, no matter how many obstacles came her way. Months later, the letters of acceptance finally came. She clutched the envelope from her dream university, her hands trembling. Papa, I got in, she said, her voice choked with emotion. Samuel laughed softly, tears glistening in his eyes. I knew you would. I never doubted it for a second. The day she graduated from medical school was a day of triumph. Amina walked across the stage in her crisp white gown, heart pounding with a mix of relief, pride, and gratitude. She scanned the crowd until she found him. Samuel, sitting in the front row, his eyes wet with tears, a small proud smile on his face. When it was her turn to speak, she stepped up to the microphone and looked directly at him. Behind every dream is someone who believes in it even before the world does, she said, her voice steady but full of emotion. For me, that person was my father. He never gave up on me, even when I almost gave up on myself. The audience erupted in applause, but her eyes never left Samuel's. He nodded at her, proud, relieved, and proud all at once. She continued, "So, to anyone watching this, never let the doubts of others define your path. Find the person who believes in you, and if you don't have one yet, be that person for yourself." She paused, letting her words sink in, and smiled at the camera. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the power of belief. Share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Later, at home, Samuel embraced her, his heart full. "You did it, Amina," he whispered. "All those nights, all that struggle. It was worth it." She hugged him back, holding on tightly. "We did it, Papa. You believed in me when nobody else did. And now, the world will see it too." Even in the quiet moments after the ceremony, she thought back to the little notes he had left, the late-night talks, the sacrifices he made without complaint. She realized that success was never about talent alone. It was about faith, persistence, and someone believing in you when everyone else doubts you. As the camera pans out, we see Amina standing on the balcony, looking at the city lights below. Her journey was far from over, but she had learned something that would stay with her forever. Dreams are possible when someone refuses to give up on you, even in the darkest times. "So remember," she says, turning back to the camera with a warm smile, "never give up, believe in your dreams, and if you can, be the person who believes in someone else." And before you go, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment sharing your own story, and like this video to support more stories that touch the heart. The screen fades to black, leaving the echo of her words, the power of unwavering belief, and the reminder that sometimes, one person can change the course of a life forever.